Right, hello there, James here. Right, so this is the first time I've done a video for a long time when I'm actually talking in it. I just want to say first of all, before I kind of let this ramble on a bit, this is the first of a series of videos that I'm going to do. There's going to be like pretty much zero production value in this. It's a case of filming and uploading, basically, because some of the other videos and that I've done recently, they take a wee bit of time and effort and that today, and truthfully at the moment I've just, well, I'll get into that in a wee bit. Anyway, the first video is going to be called Tales for the Clutter Cave. In fact, I think the entire series of videos is just going to be Tales for the Clutter Cave. Now, the Clutter Cave is basically this room where we'll have a wee like tour of it, just a wee walk round, so you kind of get an idea. But my thinking for this was, right, I get that many requests and questions basically asking me like, am I going to do any more videos about movies? Because if anybody's been visiting my channel recently, I would say for at least for December last year, I've not really done any movie related videos. The answer is, of course, I am going to do movie related videos, and in fact I'll probably speak a wee bit about some films in this video, but so there will be movie related like videos that I'll do, but just to kind of keep the channel ticking over, right? So like, just say I've got to make a video, I'm going to do like a book video or like a statue video or even a movie related thing. Just say I was doing a steelbook or something like that. I always like to kind of try and keep my videos slightly different to what everybody else is doing. I didn't see the point of, like, if there's 50,000 steelbooks, the same thing, everybody's just doing the same thing. I find that kind of pointless. So it's kind of why I drifted away slightly from the format that what I was doing. Everybody was just doing the same thing, and frankly I was getting just a wee bit bored. I mean, I still watch other folks' videos and that, doing that, but for me actually having the motivation to put time and effort in to do the same thing, I thought it was a bit of a waste of time, for me at least. I'd rather watch other folk do the videos than me make the videos. So it's kind of why I did drift away from that. But you know, the main reasons, I've not really been in the best of health for about the past year. Had a bit of bad health scare in December. Kind of changed my perspective on things a wee bit. I mean, it was a suspected mini stroke that I had, and that was a scary time. Then for about, well, I would say about the past 4 months I've been suffering from piriformis syndrome, and anybody who's had piriformis syndrome kens exactly what a pain in the arse that is. I mean, literally it is a pain in the arse. It's completely debilitating, completely, one of the most painful things I've ever experienced, and just as I was kind of getting a grip on that, I was getting like better. I tried to do too much too quick and set myself right back, and it was just a complete like week and a half there of constant pain. It was crazy, insane pain, and the amount of pills and everything I was taking, I was like spaced to the world. I was like a complete drug addict there for a wee bit with the amount of painkillers I was taking. But anyway, I'm not completely over that yet, so until I feel like I've got I don't know, I suppose it's kind of a motivation in a way. So, Tales for the Clutter Cave, right, in episode 1, which this is that you're watching, and I'm recording this, it's Friday I don't know, it's August, Friday the 23rd or something like that, I'm not sure. I mean, I'm completely bamboozled with the dates. I should have probably checked that before I started filming, but there you go. That's me, just a bit dip it at times. So anyway, the first episode of this is, I'm just going to kind of give you a wee bit of touring about the room, and show you. I mean, the reason I'll call it Tales of the Clutter Cave, because this to me is a clutter cave. I mean, I'll give you a quick kind of a scan round about there, right? It doesn't matter, that's only a kind of a portion of it, but I think that when you get to a stage when you've got so much stuff, right? Unless you've got like a total massive room, you have it organised, and even then I think that it becomes clutter, right? If you've got too much stuff and you've got it all stacked, it doesn't matter. Like if you've got it in like nice and neat and tidy and it's in a cabinet and that, it still looks like clutter, at least to me. So I call this a clutter cave. My nephew Aidan calls it the tip, which is probably more apt for this, because it's a bit of a shithole, to tell you the truth. But I mean, everything's organised to a certain degree. This is about 35 to 40% of the stuff that I actually own is in this room. The rest of it is like in like different cupboards. I've got like a huge cupboard that's, I mean, it's packed to the ceiling. Basically I need to sort that out and probably bin some of the stuff, but, and of course up the loft, there's loads of stuff up the loft. I've got like Amiga, Amstrads, games and posters and you name it. There's stuff up there for, I mean, like I was about, I don't know, 10-year-old. So anyway, before I like have a bit stoat about a wee walk about this room, Ben Affleck, right? So there you go for the day. I wasn't sure about the date, but it's the day that it was announced that Ben Affleck is going to be Batman in the next Man of Steel film. Me personally, I'm not really too bothered about it. Ben Affleck and Daredevil, for me, most folk said that sucked, that movie, but I mean, for me, I liked it. In fact, I really like Daredevil, especially in director's cut. I've not got any problem with Ben Affleck. I totally 100% understand where folk are coming from with like the hate for Ben Affleck being Batman. But I mean, I'm more a Superman fan than a Batman fan. And truthfully, I was kind of hoping that Michael Keaton was going to be Batman in this film. If it was kind of going to go with that storyline, he was going to play an older Batman, it would have been just excellent. Perfect if Michael Keaton had been Batman. But we've got Ben Affleck. I don't know, it seems like a kind of a bit of a stupid choice. And there's that many other actors that you could potentially see in the role. But I don't know. I'm fine with it, personally. I really couldn't give two shits. I think back to when Heath Ledger was announced as being the Joker, and of course everybody went completely apeshit or that. Couldn't imagine Heath Ledger as a Joker, and look what happened. I mean, to me, to a lot of folk, Heath Ledger is a definitive Joker. I mean, he's just absolutely amazing. I bought that Hot Toys, the DX11 Joker last week, a week and a half ago. I mean, just that's how much I love that character, and it's portrayed actually by Heath Ledger. I mean, the Joker's always been a favourite of mine, but Heath Ledger just fucking owns that role. I mean, it's amazing. So I'm going to give Ben Affleck the benefit of the doubt. I'm not saying that he's going to like do Heath Ledger like Oscar-winning brilliance, but I reckon he could do no bad, Quinn. So reserve judgment until it comes out. But it's a strange decision. I mean, the more I do think about it, Ben Affleck is Batman. It's a bit fucked up. But what can you do? Warner Brother executives, obviously ken some of them we didn't ken. So, and of course Zach and whoever, Chris Nolan and whoever else is involved in it. Anyway, let's have a wee tour about this room. Right, so Tales for the Clutter Cave. I just want to point out before I give a wee look around about this and have another wee bit blether, that if you're a fan of the videos that I do, see like the photo shoot videos with the statues and that, like if the books, if you're subscribed to me for the books, I love doing the videos. Okay, I mean, and they're not going to stop. I'm still going to stick to the format with them. They'll have the same kind of production values and that I put into the videos. But this is kind of like the filler video in between. Nice and easy for me to do. I can just stick the camera on, I can blather a load of shite, then I can upload it. So I can talk about whatever. So I can talk about all films. Again, there's week old films off the shelf, magazines, books that I maybe didn't want to go and put the extra effort into, but I can still like flick through the book in that, because I've got that much stuff, and there's that much stuff I would like to talk about, but it's pretty much impossible to talk about everything. But there's a lot of wee gems that I believe that I own that other folk that I've personally no seen, like online, and folk will no ken about. And then of course you're going to be like, oh, I didn't ken that was there, I'm going to go on eBay, have a wee look, see if I can buy it. Because I love the fact that, I mean, you show someone off in that, Ken, it's good that you've got it, so it's not going to cost you money, you've already spent your money, so you didn't have to like try and get that money. But I love sharing stuff that I own, and then folks saying, shit, I need to sell a kidney basically to go and buy that. I do find that quite amusing, because we've all been there, right? I mean, everybody collects stuff, everybody's got kind of a lot of things, it's acquiring the money, it's working for your money, it's getting that money, it's satisfaction like when you actually are able to acquire it. But nothing quite beats the build up, the wishful thinking you get in it before that you own it. It's good when you own it, don't get me wrong, it's great when you've got the stuff, but it's like when you're actually trying to get it, when you're trying to acquire it, when you're trying to get that price that you're willing to pay, and you're looking for it, that's where the excitement is, that's where the buzz is, and that's what I love about it. It's always great when you get it, but it's like Christmas. Christmas Eve is amazing, right? For me, kind of like when you get to Christmas Eve, best day, Christmas Day, total anticlimax. You get presents and it's brilliant, for what you get, but it doesn't beat the day before. And I've been like that since I was a bairn, it's Christmas Eve for me was always the day. Christmas Day is always like there's just a total anticlimax, and it's just the same like when you're buying stuff. It's brilliant, the build up here. Like Grand Theft Auto 5 is coming out, right? For example, it's great, like learning about like all the news, all the wee like bits that Rockstar kind of leak out. But by the time that the game comes out, I can for a fact I'm not going to have like 3 months to sit in my arse and play it, right? But I love talking about it, and I love like searching online for like other screenshots and stuff like that. But when the game comes out, I'm not going to have the time to get that far involved in it that it's going to make it worthwhile for me. But it's still fun, Ken. But it's the thinking about the game, and it's I can't even say the word, the anticipation of the game that's exciting, right? And that's the same with most things, at least in my case. Anyway, enough shite. But of course, I mean, it's Tales from the Clutter Cave. That's the reason I'm calling it this, because it's just going to be me talking a load of shit. If you like the other videos, you just bypass these videos. But for you guys out there who just like listening to folk ramble a load of crap, then this is for you. Anyway, you ready for this? We'll have a wee look. I'll point out random shit in this room. Hey, no literally shit. Just be thankful you've not got smell-o-vision if I do point out shit. But we'll have a wee look, a quick tour, and part 2 we might actually do something constructive. Okay, you ready for it? Let's rock and roll. Right, so anyway, over here we have got my wee bar stool. Right, just one of the requests that I'd got recently was like about films, and I did promise that in my next video it's going to be movie related. So just so I didn't come across as being a lying bastard, The Evil Dead, that was the last Blu-ray that I bought. I didn't bother getting the steelbook version. I did have the Zavvi steelbook version in order, but the steelbooks, unless you're flipping them to make some cash, they're a bloody waste of money nowadays, Ken. I mean, they're 10 a penny. They keep firing them out. There's some gems out there, don't get me wrong, I've got some steelbooks in order still, but I cut right back on them because they're just far too commonplace and they're too expensive. Shops like Zavvi taking the total piss out of, like, I mean, there's Man of Steel up for pre-order, 25 quid, come on, right? I mean, it's out on the 2nd of December, so Santa Claus can bring me that, because I ain't paying for it, no chance. I think it's $26.49 or something on Amazon, which is even worse, of course, but you put your pre-order on Amazon, at least they're going to probably drop the price up and doing like a bloody yo-yo like they usually do. So anyway, Evil Dead, there, I'm talking about a film for the first time in absolutely blooming ages. I've still been buying films, by the way. I've just not been advertising the films that I buy as much. Kind of got a wee bit burnt out because I'd bought that many films, right? I mean, see when you've got that many films, like I've got 4,500 films. I mean, it's actually closer to like 5,500 because I've got like a lot but I don't know what to say. But I've got a lot of copies acquired movies. Of course, I've got the movies that I've bought, but a lot of films and that I find quite hard to get in that. Of course, I've got them on DVDs and stuff, kind of on hard drive. So, I mean, I've got an awful lot of films, and it's obviously getting the time to watch the films. Now, it's the thing about like having all these films, it's another thing getting the actual time to sit and enjoy them. Okay, so for the past 8 months, I've actually been trying to catch up on like a massive like stack of films. I've seen some videos of folk, I think like Big Al Dunyan. There's been a few folk like who have been showing how much like films I've still watched, kind of be like, I've got a stack of films and it's like up there and I've still to watch them, kind of. I mean that to me that's kind of crazy, right? Stop buying films for a while, get your finger out your backside and get them watched, because what's the point of owning all the films to sit on the shelf, right? Get watching them, get enjoying them. That's what films are about, right? It's tempting to go and buy 50 films in the month. Of course it is. Get yourself 50 teleseries, but if you're not watching them, eventually it becomes a bit silly. That's the conclusion I came to. So I spent the past 8 months catching up, and I've seriously managed to get the films that I had still to watch. I mean, like my to watch pile, which I didn't keep a to watch pile. It's kind of just David memory, but that's way down. I've watched quite a few films and TV shows. I've caught up quite considerably, so I've started to watch a bit more. Anyway, when I buy a film nowadays, rather than buy the film and stick it on the shelf and wait for 3 months before I watch it, I try to buy a film as I'm going to watch it. So I got Evil Dead. I got that actually on release, but bloody, I was too doped up with the pills, again for that piriformis syndrome, to watch this. But when I did watch it about 4 or 5 days later, I enjoyed it. It was a good film. Massive fan of the original. I've got a few copies up there. You'll see I've got the, where is it? Up there. So I've got the American version, of course I've got that. I've got the digipak, that should be a wee digipak version, the UK and the first release. So I've got 3 versions of Evil Dead. Of course that's the Book of the Dead version. And Evil Dead 2, about there somewhere, and there's Army of Darkness, 2 disc. So I'm going to get I'll upgrade the Blu-ray for that, for especially Evil Dead 2. But yep. Anyway, back to this. Evil Dead. So yeah, it's a very enjoyable film. I mean, it was not as bad as what folk were making out. I'm maybe a wee bit too desensitised to like horror films. I mean, I've got quite a few horror films. I try to keep all them up there so the bairns can't get them. So I try and keep all the horrors up there, although there is some like random Blu-ray horrors that I've no shifted yet. But I do try to keep all the horrors up there out the road of the bairns. And I'm totally desensitised to horror, obviously, because I watched it and to me it was not really that gruesome. And that's worrying. It's worrying that I can watch a film like that and it is quite bad. But I'm like, well, I've seen worse in other films, and so I like a bit of humour, because the horror aspect, it doesn't kind of drive home as much as, like, I mean, even Ninja Assassin's kind of like arms and legs and everything getting whacked off. Every film nowadays is kind of like that, so for me to balance it, put a wee bit of humour into it, that's what this film was lacking for me, was just a wee bit, again, the light-heartedness. You watch it past the credits, there's a wee golden nugget at the end of it, right past the credits, which for me kind of made the film. I was going to rate it like a 3, kind of like just the typical safe sit on the fence type rating, but that wee ending, just that wee tiny bit, that wee coda right at the very end, for me that was just like, whoa, that's a 4. In fact, I was actually tempted just to go and get full marks just for that like last 2 lines dialogue or whatever it was. It was just, if I'd just seen that one scene, I would have been happy. That's going to be sad, but anyway, I didn't want to take too much away from the film. The film was good. It's enjoyable, and it's definitely one of the better films that I've seen this year. As I said, I've not bought many films. The way I've kind of worked it is tried to buy films that I would like to have watched at a cinema, and for whatever reason wasn't able to get to. So anyway, that's 11 minutes. Just blathering a load of shit. Well done if you've got the stamina to listen to all this crap, by the way. I mean, yeah, you must be taking the tablets. In fact, no, you weren't taking the tablets I was taking, because if you were, you would be sleeping by now, because these tablets knocked the fuck out of you. Right, so anyway, or here, again, obviously I've got like shitloads of books and stuff like that in here, and then you've got videos and DVDs, and I mean, there's the box set for Indiana Jones for years ago. I've got quite a lot of VHS and that left. You'll see wee bits and pieces. As I say, this is about 35–40% of stuff that I actually own. Shitloads of Elvis stuff in there, box sets, and just CDs after CDs after CDs, and videos, and a couple of cool box sets there. That's a DVD box set, that's what it is, terrific. Or here we've just got kind of like all the Baron's films. They usually, every time kind of they're in this room, they stand here for ages picking a shell of film. The Tane, the last one, they had it over the hedge, they cracked the disc on that, I need to replace that in. So then they broke the disc on that in. But so there's loads of kind of family films and that in here, but there's loads of other films. You might, if anybody who's seen my videos before, okay, in these cabinets, you move this, it slides along, you've got the films all the way down, that moves along, the films are all the way down there as well, so there's quite a lot of films in there. Digipaks and stuff, I mostly like all DVDs and that, but there's some Blu-rays and that in there. There's we have HD DVDs down there, there's Pinhead, all the books that I've got there, some of them I've done videos on, like Dark of Disney, and what else out here I've done, a couple of the Hammer films, and I always meant to do the Friday the 13th, I've had that for absolute ages, I always wanted to do a video for that, so I might do that one day. But I've got over 400 books. If I was going to actually do the same format of the books, it would take me forever. I mean, it's impossible to do, so I kind of got to cherry pick them. Whether I get a request for a specific book, or like I'm just like total into that subject at the time that I do the video. That's kind of what dictates it. So here we've got just like a lot of Bishojo statues. Bishojo statues, should I say. And I've got quite a few there. I've got some at the back there, Assassin's Creed box, and a couple other. So these are just empty boxes, because obviously the statues and that, they're in another room. And here we just, these move along again, loads of films. I mean, these are all TV shows, tons of TV shows in here. Some trophies, as I said, horrors up here, but they've got TV shows and box sets and that up there as well. Like the Family Guy in is with Roseanne, love Roseanne, brilliant show. Third Rock for the Sun, and some Blu-rays up there, Bruce Lee set, excellent. Of course, I could go and get the Blu-rays for that, but I didn't like to upgrade Blu-rays for every single blooming film that I had got, so I'm quite happy with the DVDs for most of them. And as I say, you don't get the time to watch most of the stuff. You upgrade your Blu-ray, and depends when you fancy watching the film again. So, loads of stuff, Frasier, one of my favourite shows. These are mostly just all Blu-rays in here. And at the back of this, Elvis mirror. These are all my 80s, which I've shown this before, but it's just jam-packed. I've got a couple of statues there of the Blues Brothers, Elvis mirror on my bare feet, and you'll see I've got a bandage on my toe, because when I had that piriformis syndrome, like I would have to sit, like kind of was kneeling all the time. I was kneeling on the flare, hanging on the couch, and my toe kind of got a bit fucked up, so it's bandaged up. I have to keep changing the dressing. You can see that bit's starting to bleed again. Pretty painful. Here we've got a giant stormtrooper guarding my door to this room. My sister Nicola done this. It was the gala day for Aiden, so she done like tons of these characters. She's done an amazing job with them. She drew them on, painted them on, everything. And I tell her I was having this. I mean, it's all done out of, like, it's all wood. So I asked her if I could get that, so I got the Stormtrooper in here. Of course, around here we've got Arnie. I love this canvas. At the back of this, I'll just shift the Stormtrooper out to the road. Right, so at the back of this we have got just shitloads of Star Trek, some of your teleshows like Chuck, but everything to do with Star Trek, every film, every episode ever made, everything's there. We'll show that in time. I've already done pictures of that ages ago. That's limited to 1,000. It's a brilliant set, that. Deep Space Nine, my favourite of the Trek. Terrific set though. I will do a video on that. Definitely one of these future Clutter Cave videos. I'll stand back a bit so you can see this. This is like the big Elvis thing here, which is just a kind of a bit of a cheating way of hiding. I don't know how many films there is there, but I think there's like 500 odd DVDs just kind of stacked in the back of that. Up here we've just got some statue boxes. Love that statue, and that game is amazing. And here we've just got some Freddy and Jason, and Nightmare Before Christmas, and Ash, and Flyboy, and there's my mum when she was a clippy. I'd actually left that out to show my pals on Facebook. I've kept for years, like on various forums and that. Robert. So Rob, there was my mum when she was a clippy. I did leave that out to show you, and that's me just minding about it the now. So she used to work on the buses. We got talking about that in time on Facebook. So there's some of their co-workers. So Peter Jackson, and then this thing that I made when I was at school many moons ago. And in here more books and figures and Chucky and Bride of Chucky. And here we've just got like a shitload of books and Samurai Sword, and just now you can see why it's Tales for the Clutter Cave, because there's just stuff everywhere. Or here we've got boxes, and there's that DX11, I've got the Hot Toys X-Men, which I just got yesterday. Fucking amazing, brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Well, I've got to say toy, because that is a toy, but yes, it's in a cabinet. Yes, you put it like on display. It looks more like a statue, but I love that. Anyway, that was a brilliant purchase. Nice wee Coat of Kia statue there. Loads more on my Iron Brew. Tell I've got this is kind of like a wee stand that I put films that I'm watching, so I can put the discs and that in there, various TV shows and that, so I can kind of keep track of them. Down here, just some drawings that I was doing. I don't know if you can really make that out, but I was always going to start drawing, so I've decided to do that, take that up, and I've got quite a few of them. That was the first time I ever drew since I was at school, so I started doing the head and that, and then I kind of ended up doing that. So I'd done the face and just fucking about, so I've done quite a few of them. If anybody's interested in that, I'll show you some of the pictures I've got them painted and stuff, and I'll put them on Facebook for a couple of folk, like my pal John, he's seen them, but no many folk I've been brave enough to actually show them to yet. Right, so down here we've got a couple more boxes, Final Fantasy 7, Final Fantasy 13, for a couple of figures that I recently bought, Play Arts versions. Got a lot of crystal ornaments here, various animals, and these were actually my mum's. She used to collect all these, and she never got rid of them. She just decided she wasn't wanting to display them or anything anymore, so I says I'll take them, which I really like them. We've got like Hawk and Dove there as well, I mean there's a lion there, so basically Aslan, Dumbo and whatever, but I mean I love these. I think they're pretty amazing. So at the back we've got westerns. I love the western genre, so I've got shitloads of westerns there. Just some of your teleseries and some of your ornaments from James Bond. Huge James Bond fan, anybody kens me kens that. Same with Hammer, Buff and Angel, Clint Eastwood. I've got very every Clint Eastwood film that's ever been made. I'm not just in that box set, but I've kind of the ones that were in that Warner Brothers set, so I've still got the other ones. There's another Clint Eastwood set down there. Matt Smith, TARDIS, he uses his bookends, and the David Tennant TARDIS, and then just some various other wee bits and pieces, like stuff that I've had when I was a kid. The GoBot, which was kind of like the cheaper version of the Transformers back in the 80s. But I love this. It's kind of like the last surviving toys that I've got that's kind of still in brilliant condition. That would along with the wee Buck Rogers for I think it was like 1980 or something. That was it. Wally, my sister got me that ages ago. That was a Woolworths exclusive. You got it with the Rubik's Cube, which I've never opened. So here we've got the Yoda, which the Bairns got me a couple of years back. At Christmas, lights up and just starts telling you to get lost basically if you walk past it. A USB plug-in thing. A lot more like Doctor Who films and that up there. It's getting a bit dark, so it's a wee bit harder. I should have brought myself a light in here. But anyway, it's just a quick kind of tour. But anyway, Elvis, huge massive Elvis fan, got absolutely far too much stuff. I mean, if I were to show you Elvis stuff, it'd probably be about 4 or 5 videos. There's a lot. Somebody actually did request a while back for me to show all the Elvis stuff. I did say I would get around to do that, and I will. I'm going to really try and start filtering through some of my Elvis stuff and making a few videos on that. But anyway, this is just like the films that are on DVD. So every Elvis film that's been made is in there. And of course some of the McFarlane figures. Up the top here we have got just a lot of Marvel figures, Lord of the Rings, got tons of Lord of the Rings, Eagle Moss, these cabinets. Up the very top, you won't be able to really see it, but up here there's like loads of aliens. I've got the full cast of aliens, lead figures that I painted. I'll show them in a video as well. We'll go through all these, so if you're interested, come back for that. Definitely will be in a future video. I'll be making these pretty regular, so you'll see it quite soon. Some more stuff up the top there, Lord of the Rings again, and there's, well, of course Neo and Hellraiser and Kill Bill and Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the remake. More boxes, games. Actually, I think there's not many games in here. The games are stored elsewhere. I've got absolutely hundreds of games, hundreds of magazines. Just too much to store in this clutter cave. I mean, it's not the biggest room, Ken. I mean, it's a fair size, but it's certainly no massive. So, mere just the boxes, like figures and stuff. Jigsaws. I got these jigsaws before I kind of took ill. I was planning to build these. I've not even opened them yet, but I'm going to be doing that. And I've got the thing to put the jigsaw in. So I've got a couple of them, picked them up, just stuck the tins down there. This is just a spare Xbox 360, spare telly. All this is just all spare stuff. I used to have that in the bedroom. It was beside it was basically the Bairns that used this Xbox the most. But the kind of well, Aidan got his own Xbox, so they weren't playing it. So I just decided to shift it here. I might actually sell this or just leave it as a spare in case other packs in. Touch wood it doesn't. Down here I've just got a laptop. There's another laptop. There's a laptop in there behind that as well. I think there's 4 laptops in this room. But that ends that and that basically. That's Ubuntu. That's Windows 7. The one up there that's behind that is XP, and none of them doesn't work. So, and there's another computer down there as well, an old time machine. Whoa, I mean, it's Windows XP as well. Never use it, it's just there's a backup, got stuff stored in it. And the same in there's Skyrim, the big set for Skyrim. So, what else have we got here? I've got a few books. There's some. I've had that Final Fantasy. I was actually going to make a picture basically. I was going to do the wee kind of like multi pictures. So I was going to post that on Instagram. Meant to do that before I ended up getting ill, so I've left it because I'm still going to do that. A recent book, the Dark Knight book, got that. Up here, went through that, some TV shows and stuff up here. It's like big book sets and stuff. And of course more films behind, Django, I've got, see the Lord of the Rings. These are actually got all the, I mean these are brand new, well they're not brand new but everything's in there, right? You'll notice over here some of the Lord of the Rings things that are out here, and there's more in another room. I've actually got doubles of all of them. My sister gave me she had the box sets as well and she wasn't bothering about them, so she gave me them. So that's why I've got them. So anyway, I think pretty much that's that there. Behind here there's loads of books. It's a wee bit dark in there, but there's absolutely tons of books here. There's these holographic poster things. I'll just shift them out the road. And behind there's a wee sneak peek. There's absolutely tons of books. I said there's another laptop in there. There's tons of books in there as well. That's just packed of books. Down here, this part, in this cabinet here, there's all books in there as well. I mean, that's all the, in fact there's a video, I'll just take that out. So there's loads of books. Everything's kind of just packed in everywhere. So tons of stuff in there. And in here, again, you kind of can see the back, right? And that's some of the other films that I was talking about. I've got loads of these things. Because in this cabinet in here, there's all films in there too. So there we go. There's tons of books in there. Again, this is only a wee drop of the books that I've got, because the books are stored in various other places. And I'm not going to move all this stuff in this cabinet, but this is quite deep, this cabinet, and it's absolutely packed with films and that as well. And loads of other bits and pieces, but we'll have a look at that in a future video. Right, so in here we've got, there's loads of Daleks in here. I'll just open this bit up. So I've got a lot of Daleks in here. That was for Two Worlds. Green Goblin, which a lot of folk hated that Green Goblin Spider-Man. I think he was quite cool. My niece made this for me. It's kind of like a wee holographic thing, which is pretty smart. And we've got some Terminator stuff up here, Terminator 2, Terminator 3, and their books. And then this bit here, again, I've got some boxes, they play boxes in case anything I'm going to sell anything, and I've got some more books in this bit as well, just some spare packaging. I've actually got, I don't know if anybody will be interested, there's quite a few steel books in that here, but I've got Iron Man, yep, Iron Man 1 and Iron Man 2. So these are brand new and sealed. And if anybody's thinking about maybe want to acquire these, you can make me an offer on Facebook. So I'm quite willing to sell them if anybody's desperate. I'm not going to take crazy money for them or anything like that, Ken, but I mean, I don't know what the going rate is, the new. I think you're probably looking about 70 quid or something each. It'll be nowhere near that, Ken. I mean, I still want a fair price for them, so I mean, didn't be silly and say like, oh, kind of tenner or something like that. But I'm definitely willing to part with them. I'm not really fussy about them. In fact, I'm actually maybe thinking about getting rid of a few of my steel books. Just there's a lot of them that I like, but I mean, there's tons of steel books all the way down there. Right, so we will have a look here and see what my sister won. Right, I'll just stick it down on the carpet here. Right, so anyway, she paid £1, it was a tombola, and she won this Cary Grant collection, so she was very kind to give me that today. So this was brand new, so I'm just having a wee look at this pretty much for the first time. So might as well have a wee scoot through it on camera. The only film there that I can really mind it is Bringing Up Baby. I've seen that a few times over the years. This looks like quite a cool set. It's really good they're doing that for me. I mean, as soon as she won it, the first thing she thought was that she was just going to phone me and ask if I wanted it. Of course, Cary Grant, excellent, brilliant films, couldn't refuse it. Nice digipak as well. I checked on Amazon, I mean, this is close to £1, and because obviously to enter the thing for the raffle, but It's £13 or something like that on Amazon now. And then you get these cards in here as well. So there we go, quite a long video. Well done if you managed to stick through it all. We'll make regular visits here. Even though there's stuff in here, there's loads of stuff in, kind of like I said, in other cupboards and the loft and that. I'll bring stuff out from time to time. We'll stick it on this, because this is a big space here. I'll stand back here, and I mean, and there's a fair size bit area here to move about in. Again, so we'll lay stuff out. I've actually taken pictures in here before of my Star Trek collection, which pretty much taken up the entire area. So aye, come back again. Look out for more photo shoots, book videos, and all the usual stuff. But if you enjoyed this video, give it a wee thumb up. Let me ken. If you thought it was total shit and you didn't want to see any more again, of course hit the thumbs down, and I will take the hint and never make another one of these again. So anyway, till next time, take care, talk to you soon.